Hello, I'm Owen Hunt, and this is for speech class. We're doing the comparison paper. I decided to choose homeschooling versus public schooling. Um, you're when you have a kid come along and you're getting ready to put them onto school, there's a big decision on whether you want to homeschool or public school. Majority of the United States wants to put their kid into public schooling, but there are some people that want to do homeschooling. Um, there's many years prior to getting your kid into kindergarten, preschool, first grade, where you are their teacher prior to those years. You teach them right from wrong, you teach them yes from no, you teach them the alphabet, numbers, teach them to talk, all these kind of things, making sure they're ready to make that step into preschool and kindergarten. um, but there's a big step into putting them into public schools, making sure they're able to be into public schools with their maturity level and such. Now, background on homeschooling, it's a type of education where you're outside of a school setting under the supervision of a parent or legal guardian. The family determines what is to be taught and what is to be learned following government regulations applied in that state or country, whichever, we're talking US, but the modern homeschool movement began in 1970 in the when John Holt uh, was a educator. He began in arguing that former schools focus on bringing them to unschooling, which would be considered homeschooling. This movement continued, and he founded it in 1977. The perks of homeschooling: having freedom to do your homework whenever. Uh, you can start at 8 a.m., you can start at 8 p.m., you can start in the middle of the day. Maybe mom, dad's got some errands to run, so you got to wait a second. Being able to do your homework outside when it's a nice day. You can even do it on the road when you're on family trips. A nice day would be great to go outside in public schools, but most classrooms stay inside. You can vacation whenever you want, so when you take those trips, you can do the homework before, after, like I said, during as well. You don't feel embarrassed when answering a question wrong. Mom and dad may joke with you, but you don't have 30 people staring at you after you answered a question wrong and you feel embarrassed. There's no school bullies unless your mom and dad want to joke with you. Those, mom and dad like to joke with you, but they aren't bullies. You don't have to shower and get ready for school. You can stay in your pajamas, you can be in your bathing suit, you can jump in the pool after you do your schoolwork. It's very easy to just access being in front of mom and dad or the computer learning the material you need to learn. The statistics on it, there are about 2.3 million home educated students in the United States as of spring 2016. That jumped up from an estimated around 2 million in 2010 of spring of 2010. It appears that homeschooling is more popular. It's the computers, the parents feel it's safer. Many things are happening in public schooling. Michigan sits as the 6th freest state in the United States for homeschooling. It requires no notice to the government. So if you want to bring your kid into homeschooling, you don't need to tell the Michigan government that you're going to do that. You're just going to go ahead and do it. A parent or legal guardian with homeschooling his or her child is not required to have a Michigan teaching certificate or permit. Now, some school districts in Michigan have adopted the fact that homeschool students are allowed to participate in school activities and sports with those high schools in that district. They just recently adapted this. Public schooling now. is a school that is maintained at public expense for the education of students in a community or district. Uh, it's a primary and secondary schooling. On April 23rd in 1635, yes, a long time ago, the first public school was announced in the United States in Boston, Massachusetts, known as the Boston Latin School. This was a all-boys school. Public secondary school was led by schoolmaster Philemon Permont. That's a tough one. The the school focused around English taught based, Latin, Greek, and it was it was for strictly college preparation to move on into getting that college degree. The Boston Latin School is still in full effect now in 2018, obviously with some adjustments to the building itself, but it teaches from 7th grade in middle school all the way up until you're a senior in high school. It became a co-ed school in 1972, moving locations several times within then, but it's a Boston Fenway neighborhood. The perks of public schooling: being able to socialize with new people every day, as well as attending the same school as your neighborhood friends. Learning from other professional points of view, as well as taught by government standards. I mean, your teachers have to know what they're talking about and have to follow certain guidelines as well. You become friends with all different types of financial wealth. I mean, you could be in a low income schooling city, district, or you can be in a high income. It's paid for by taxes. Now, public schooling is the way to go. You hear all different types of voices. You learn from not only your parents, you learn from the students, the teachers, the principals, the assistant principals. You get more aspects towards college. You get college people to come in high school. It's just, there's much more to learn with public schooling versus homeschooling. Public schooling is a great start from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. Now, public schooling is definitely well needed once you hit your high school years. That's when your body's changing, your brain's adapting, it wants to fill more in there. Students learn the fundamentals of certain things. You know, there's health class. I mean, all these classes are taught in homeschooling as well, but you hear those different points of views from other people. And colleges come to visit you, and they guide you to where you want to be. Your parent is the only person guiding you in homeschooling. With more counselors helping you out, guiding you which road, it makes you take the road that you wanted to when you decided what you wanted to do. Now, if you don't know what you want to do, you can take the easy road and go to a community college and make sure you're getting your education thoroughly. But public school helps you guide into your career a lot better than homeschooling. Now, that's all I have for you today, and thank you.